Welcome to podcast number 21. This is the Great Jew Atheist, and I could be reached at the Great Jew Atheist at gmail.com. The Great Jew Atheist at gmail.com. Please like the podcast and comment on it. Today's podcast is about life, and the subtopic is why life sucks and what you can do about it. Not much, but maybe you can. Okay, so let's get to the first slide. Why does life suck? Life sucks because of evolution. Species compete for scant resources. Only the fittest on a ruthless Darwinian battleground can survive. This brings many of the horrors of the natural world: starvation, predation, fear, depression, interspecies violence, disease, and pain. Many animals, if they don't die, growing up, they get old, and if they don't get eaten, they starve to death, which is probably really horrible. Most human beings probably don't experience that, but some do, and not a good thing. So, just on that, life would suck, So us humans have a leg up. Louis C.K. always had that joke. It's pretty good to be a human. How would you like to be a predator? When you get hungry, you have to chase down your animal. You gotta run after it, and then it escapes. So you put all this effort in, shit, he escaped. Fuck, I gotta go and gotta chase down another meal. So life is tough. Okay. We are just vehicles for our genes, and our genes can be immortal. Of course, we aren't. Richard Dawkins, Selfish Gene, 1975. Now, the selfish gene theory was not Richard Dawkins' invention, but he popularized it through his book, The Selfish Gene. It used to be, the idea was group selection, that groups determined the survival. Basically, what his theory was revolutionary, that the gene determined, what was good, and he created, species because the gene could not, pass its, genetics. It had to have a vehicle. Animals, plants, and humans are just vehicles. And when they're done, get rid of them. Now, this theory is contested by many evolutionary biologists. Modern day, they feel selection can really happen at three levels. The DNA level, snippets of DNA could select, can make selection happen. The gene level, as Richard Dawkins postulated, and the group level, which rarely can happen, doesn't happen often. A set of animals can outcompete another set of animals. And if you want further view, just YouTube Sapolsky, Darwin. So Sapolsky throws Darwin sort of under the bus on this. Two of the great minds in science, two of the great popularizers on science. Those are the two. If you really want to upgrade the brain, you want a fundamentalist, you should listen to these two fellas. Okay, now the picture shouldn't come in first, but human life sucks also, and I think you know that in your heart. Okay, but all spheres of human life sucks. first let's start with marriage. So marriage begins with the honeymoon period. In fact, they call it when you get married, you go on a honeymoon, right? But eventually, two things will happen. All marriages will end up, if the couple stays married, they will go and become unhappy, right? They might stay happy for the children, or they might decide that, just better to be unhappy but not lonely. Or they might get divorced. And I believe this is nearing 60% in the United States. Another example of a sphere of suckiness in human life is jobs. Now, jobs too also begin with a honeymoon period. But of course, changes, you first start on the job and, wow, it's a great company, and, you see the people, they dress nicely, and, it's clean, and orderly, and wow, this is gonna be good, and, and of course, things change. Changes begin to occur to the workplace. Okay, so, you get your boss, and she's probably okay. Then you get some new supervisors. That happened to me. I got this nut, scream at me, bully me. Then they increase your workloads. They're not happy. Then never happy with the top heads are not, happy, or whoever owns the company. So of course they get the new management, or, they sell the company and someone buys them out. They toss the management, they get new management. And you of course you get tons of stress, and you become disillusioned, and you say it's not fair, and of course, and of course the inevitable breakdowns and nervous breakdowns and job loss, right? And then, some of us are lucky enough to get to retirement. Some of us save up money, we scrimp and save, and then we hit old age. And of course, old age is not fun. There's boredom, there's loneliness, there's pain, and there's an illness, there's senility, there's nursing homes, and finally, the best thing that can happen at this point is death. So. And I believe the key is acceptance. A lot of people try to, oh no, there's got to be something better. No, there isn't. When you realize that life sucks, then and only then can you be happy, because you realize this. And this is sort of the Buddhist philosophy. Life is suffering, life sucks. Wake up. Not gonna get better. It is what it is. There's no magic rainbow. The grass is not greener on the other side. Kim Kardashian is not happy, even though she pretends to be the puffed up lips. And that's in that clip art happy guy. So no one's happy. Some people are worse than others. You don't want to be homeless, of course. So human life sucks also. It's probably not as bad as being an animal on the savannah, a wildebeest. Now you got to go across the river. That funny Geico ad. There's a bridge, and two wildebeests are hanging out before they go in to cross the river, where all the crocodiles are just hanging out, waiting. And they said, "Well, we'll take the bridge." And why don't the humans make bridges for the wildebeest? I never understood that. Why don't they just make bridges? I guess the crocodiles would be in trouble. Okay. So what can you do? Not much, but here's some things I thought maybe you can do. The first thing I thought is have good intentions. So even though you know that things will turn out sucky, try to make them work. So you go in the job, and eventually there's going to be new management. If you're a doctor, You're going to be in a shitty hospital, or your practice will eventually not be good. Try to make it work. Here's something I'm trying to do. I realize that, I have to do this because I'm going to go fucking insane. Because I work in a shitstorm. My job is just a shitstorm. There's no satisfaction. I want to become. Right now I'm an auditor, and I just can't take it. I'm gonna try to get back into it just so I can pay my bills long enough so I can get in my other career. And you didn't have these options. I have an online school I want to go to, and hopefully the state, because I have technically a mental health disability, will pay up to $10,000. And the online school, these online schools now are actually pretty good. So hopefully get my master's degree in mental health counseling, and I can counsel people. So, of course, it's not a panacea. There'll be problems with that, but I think it's a better fit. So I love psychology, and maybe I can even help people. That would be a bonus. So change careers if you can. Although it cannot solve all your problems, sometimes a career change could be a solution. If you can, of course. I'm lucky. I don't have any children. I don't have a wife. And it was Richard Bowles. I don't know if he's around. He always said the important thing to always say what you do and where you do it. So you always got to say two things have to make sense in a career. What do you do? So let's say you like to be a secretary, but you do it in a mental hospital, and you have a lot of content. You might like being a secretary, but you might not like what you're doing, right? Or you might be an automotive mechanic. You might like where you do it, but you might not like being an automotive mechanic, right? So those two things need to be fulfilled. It's another piece of advice is have a good life design system. Now, here's something I was really poor at, but I'm trying to improve. So, of course, number one thing, saving money. And I just give an example: clip coupons. You money coming in is always very tenuous situation. And I say clip coupons, just an example. These are just examples of the little things you can do. Again, my brother gave some good advice. It's the little things. It's always the little things. That doom us. Put the cap back on the toothpaste. Always do that. I had this guy, was in an education class. He had some excellent advice not to get charged with sexual harassment. He was a supervisor, and he used to have to interview people. And he said, when you interview someone, especially a woman, keep the door open. Always have your secretary in there, right? And so, you must have been charged with sexual harassment before, And he also good advice in showering. That will be another podcast. Don't let your dishes pile up in the sink, of course, because, of course, cockroaches and, it's just more time consuming. Make your bed, right? Show up on time, of course. That's going to help you in your job. When you don't show up, or if you show up and you don't show up on time, it could lead to problems, right? Next part, piece of advice is follow prescriptions, right? Might be a prescription. Everyone tells you these little things that your mother used to tell you, right? And they're actually excellent pieces of advice. Eat right and exercise. Not hard, Don't eat Burger King. Don't eat McDonald's. Have your broccoli. Eat salads. Have an apple. Eat grilled chicken. Eat tuna. It's common sense. We exercise. I started walking. Don't smoke, avoid drinking, of course. Stay away from drugs like marijuana, cocaine, heroin, pills. It's funny, I was addicted to Klonopin, and finally came across this disorder I had, a psychomotor retardation. And everyone said, oh, you're lazy. I literally couldn't do the laundry because, so it's this real, it's a mental disorder. So what happens is, so let's say the clothing starts piling up, and all of a sudden you got to do the laundry. So your brain goes, okay, so what I got to do the laundry? Okay, I got to get the laundry detergent. Oh shit, that's hard. Where's the fucking I don't got any laundry detergent. Shit, I got to go up the hill. Forest Hills I live in. There's fucking a lot of hills. Fucking pain in the ass. Right, so, all right, I got the fucking, okay, shit, I got to get fucking all the laundry detergent. I got to put it in my hamper. That's fucking not easy. So it becomes, something that's, overwhelming, and in your mind, really, it's like running a marathon, and you can only run maybe a mile and you're out of breath, and, so this is an actual disorder, and everyone's like, you're lazy and you're fucking, but this is an actual disorder, and it was I was reading this, one of the common causes, it's probably caused by I'm an alcoholic, it's probably caused by the Klonopin, so avoid the pills, I'm telling you, it's so much better for life. I tell you, another thing is take the medication your doctor's prescribed. My family, some of the members of my family, like the metformin, a lot of diabetes within the family. I don't want to take pills, like my sister's pre-diabetic, and I say, she doesn't want to take the metformin. She's in really good shape, but take the metformin. Trust me on this. I have a terrible diet. I'm fat, and I'm pre-diabetic now because of the metformin. It's a great medication. Take your metformin. People's like, the doctors, they don't know what they're talking about. Trust me, the doctors know what they're talking about. Listen to your doctor. You'll hear horror. You hear one story. Someone had, I had a horror story. I took this medication. Rare, this is rare. Once in a while, something will happen. The doctor will fuck up. But how many times have the medications helped? How many times? These medications are miracles. Trust me. Take them. They give you a medication. They give you an antidepressant. They work. Trust me. I take Cymbalta. I took it 9 years. It didn't work. Why? Because I took alcohol. I abused cocaine. I abused Klonopin. I abused other drugs. Now it's working. It's working. I feel great. Why does it work? Because it's research. They know what they're fucking doing. Okay? It's science. It's not like a fund of Jesus. He's going to breathe the breath of life. God, breathe the breath of life into you. The blood of Christ in his flesh. You got to drink the wine and you take the cracker. Science works. Just like iPhones. Trust me. Take your medications. Probabilities, I'm not guaranteeing you it, shit can happen. But your odds will improve greatly. Take your medication that doctor prescribed. I cannot say it. Here's something I do. I don't get cable TV. I read a lot and I watch TV. I'll give you an example. I'm big into increasing my intelligence because your brain is the best organ you have. Your heart's important, your lungs are important, your kidneys are really important, and your liver. Those are the top four. But without a brain, you don't have much. And it's funny. So I do a Google search, how to increase your intelligence. It's amazing. Someone came out PDF. I downloaded it for free, and it looks really good. First, it gives you like an IQ test, and then it gives you like all these. It's like free. I couldn't believe it. You don't have to spend a cent, and I'm really excited, and just to do this thing. It's amazing. So so intelligence. I was gonna go to Amazon and like a spend if I am order a book, and just by just doing this simple search, and socialize. Tonight I'm going to a hoarders group. Am I going to hoarders group? I'm doing pretty good. I'm not hoarding. People throwing things at me. My friend just came over, like a shitload of clothes. My sister throws all these cleaners, and I don't want them. But socialize. And I'm going there to socialize. Maybe I can meet someone who hoards like me. I have a cousin who she was such a bad hoarder, and they must make a lot of money. I get, her husband is a lawyer, and she does well. She's some kind of computer engineer, and she's such a bad hoarder that they had to buy a house down the street. So get out of your house and socialize. Find something. Make an excuse. You don't have hoarder. Figure something out. Overeaters. Maybe I'll go to. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Just get out. You meet someone. You talk. You bullshit. Doesn't matter what it is. It could be UFOs, make believe. I can't do that though. I don't want to be an idiot. I want to form a group, maybe atheists. I go to a secular organization for alcoholics, but they're fucking idiots. I hate these fucks. I really hate them. They're fascists. I can't say I love atheism, but they're just they're fascists. I hate the guy that leads the group. I hope you watch my podcast, guys. I hate you, scumbag. Okay. And last tip, watch Sam Harris' podcast, because he's fucking brilliant. I love Sam Harris. You will increase your intelligence. If you're a 120 IQ, you will go up to 140. You will increase. If you're 80, you will go up to 100. His vocabulary, his logical thinking process are amazing. So that does it. Really short podcast. Life sucks and what you can do about it. So again, a little realism, don't, you go through life and it's gonna suck, your best days are when you're young and, your first girl and you get married in the beginning and you have your first kid, this is some good things. And hold the first kid, as you see pictures of, the man, he has a baby in his arm. It's just probably no feeling. I've never felt that. There's probably no feeling like that. It's amazing. But eventually, the kids disappoint you, taking drugs, ends up working at McDonald's, just fucking getting high, so 6 kids on heroin, AOS or whatever, ACS takes them away. It's learning this stuff going to out treatment. People are fucked up. There's this girl there. She has 6 kids at 28, and she's on heroin. She's complaining that ACS is taking them away. They should. They should, and you should never be around kids. Look at you getting this opportunity. So thank you, and tonight is November 7th, 2018. Again, please like the podcast, and I love comments. And I'm the Great Jew Atheist at gmail.com. Again, greatjewatheist at gmail.com. We're checking in at exactly 23 minutes. Take care. Bye-bye.